Let's follow the railroad tracks this time. Whereas before we took a right across the dam bridge. Of course, thanks to the magic of the Sixth Sense, one of the questions that we're going to have to ask ourselves is the protagonist a ghost? Is he dead? Um, there's a lot of evidence that maybe he is. You know, obviously the fact that he can kind of see the dead and he can piece together these past events implies that he's got some kind of strong supernatural background. Um, but I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt that he's a ghost himself because he specifically calls attention to the fact that the dead can't describe what it's like to be dead. Um, I think that would kind of contradict the story if he himself was a ghost. But who knows? Anything could happen. Alright, so while we took a right before, we're going to stay on the tracks this time. See what we find deeper in the woods. Looks like we have a nice little overlook over here. I want to go up here and get a nice view of the dam. I certainly do. Very pretty, very pretty. The railroad tracks. I think they're over here to the left. Aren't they? Yes. Seems we got a dead end. Another landslide. This is like we can bypass this one. Just this large ravine here. Alright. So presumably, we've investigated everything there is to investigate on the forested side. Well, technically there's forest all around, but this side over here seems to have yielded all of its secrets to us. So I suppose we'll make our way back to the village and see if we can find out what happened to Mommy Dearest, where the key is to the tunnels. Although, I'm a little confused. If Ethan went through the tunnels, then wouldn't he have already unlocked them? I'm not sure. So as I've said, I really appreciate the fact that there are no zombies jumping out to try and get us. There's no real combat to this game. Um, I'm totally happy with it being a puzzle game. And that's purely just personal preference, I'm sure. You know, a lot of people would look at this and say, oh, it's a stupid video game. There's no way you could lose, you know? Um, but I don't think you really need necessarily, you know, the chance for a game over in order to make it a terrible game. On that note, another game which kind of bridges that gap, actually, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. I really, really liked Enslaved. I like the story. I like the setting. It actually, I enjoyed the game so much that I went back and read the ancient Chinese novel that was based on Journey to the West. Great game. Highly recommend it. But one of the major complaints was the fact that it had a sort of parkour or platforming or free running kind of system in the game, similar to Prince of Persia, except there's no way that you could actually fail at it. Like, if you could not make a jump, then your character, if you press the A button, the character would just do nothing, you know? And a lot of critics kind of scathed that a little bit because they said that it took the challenge, the gameplay, out of this whole platforming system they were trying to develop. You know, if there's no threat of death, then or failure, then it was kind of pointless. And I didn't see that as much. Now, pretty much, you could still die in the game. You could still fail like a certain mission objective, like if you had to escort somebody or keep somebody alive, or if you lost all your health in combat, you could die that way too. But so there was still a penalty for failure, but it was just the traversal system that was foolproof, as it were. For me, that wasn't a big issue. For some players and obviously critics, it was. And I think that we would find this